Sierra has all the best active and outdoor brands you need. From athletic stuff, like a full court pickup game, swish, to athlete-ish stuff, like a half-mile stroll. Get those steps in. And for morning hikes up the mountain trail, good pace. To nighttime ghost stories from the camping chair. What a twist. Whatever level of active, Sierra loves it all. Head to Sierra or Sierra.com for the brands you want at the prices that let you do it all. From athletic to athlete-ish, Sierra's got it.
We work hard to strike the right amount of intelligence and ignorance. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Standing in line, it feels like pure misery. But what's so annoying about a line doesn't seem to be the time you spend in it. It's not counting the minutes. New research says our brains obsess over who's ahead of you and whether it seems like anything is actually moving. I'm here with one of the world's most premier line researchers, an associate professor at SPIA at the University of Pittsburgh, who's researched lines. Her name is Sarah Lenardi. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I love that you chose as your research area lines and waiting in them. What motivated you to dig into how people feel about lines?
I am a behavioral economist, an experimental economist, and so I just do experiments on various questions that I really like practice to research. So if we have questions from people on the ground, at that time we were thinking about buses in Pittsburgh, where it gets so full and people are like, I can't pick up my kid because I can't get in the bus, and someone else is just like, I just want to go get a coffee downtown. It's like, and we're like, how do we get the parent to get on the bus so they can get their kid, and the people who don't really have to get on the bus to wait for the next bus. So the idea came from there, and it's like, can we think of a way, because if you ask people, do you need to get on the bus now? Everyone's like, yes. It's like, can you think of a way so that the people that don't have to get on the bus won't do it, and the people by paying them,
Yeah.
by coming up with some way to get people off the line. That's where it started.
Okay, so you incentivize people to leave and see how much they would want to leave
Yes.
based on that incentive.
Yes.
Let's get to the headline, though, complaining about waiting. It's funny, anecdotally, people would say, oh, this restaurant, there's a long wait, but the line moves. People will say that to sort of describe a line as not so bad. They won't talk about the time. And I think your study shows that's what people respond to. What are we kind of measuring when we suss out a line, when we look at a line and see whether it's something we want to wait in or not?
So we found that, yes, like you were saying, I'm going to answer that question in two parts. Once we're
Sure.
in the line, how do we suss out whether we want to continue staying? And then when we're looking at the line, how do we think about whether we want to stand in line or not? And it turns out that the two of them are pretty similar, which is that we see, is it long? Is it moving? And interestingly, um, even when we had a clock, we showed people how much time is ahead of them. They still kind of treat these two things as separate. Is it long? Is it moving? And not really multiplying it in their heads.
Yeah. I feel like also maybe, I know you didn't study traffic jams, or maybe you did, but it's I would rather take a longer route where the road feels like it's moving, the scenic route, than sit on a freeway or a highway in bumper to bumper traffic, even though it might be faster to take the major road. I think anecdotally, this makes sense, even though what we should be looking at is how long the wait is, shouldn't we?
Yeah. People have a very hard time actually trading off between long, fast queues and short, slow queues, because it's and what we find is also what's really interesting is also that the so we're one of the first people, I think, if not the first, to figure out how to translate this discomfort of waiting into a specific monetary value. So I could give you a dollar value for given the line, how much you pay people to get off the line. But this is a situation where I can see the line ahead of me, I know how many people's ahead, and then I know how long or how slow the line is moving. But what's really interesting is we've all felt oh, so irritated, we're waiting. And you would think okay, this should affect how much you're willing to get off the line. And we've also felt I have waited so long. Damn it, I'm going to finish it, right?
Sunk cost fallacy right there. Yeah.
Exactly. But what we found is they don't. We have a survey as well. So we ask people how they feel, and we do see feelings. But when it comes to money, It didn't seem to matter. It was still like, well, what's ahead and how slow is it?
So at what point do you realize, wow, like people really don't care about minutes as much as we thought? You would assume going in, it's just the raw time.
Okay.
Like, did this finding surprise you?
It did. It did. I mean, we were like, yeah, we got this after 1,100 subjects and about 30 Q variations in 4 studies. So it was a lot of different studies. And we kept trying like shorter line, longer line, with the clock, worse weight, like all sorts of things. And that's what we got.
So you've quantified this by like how much money you could pay someone to get out of a line that they're in. So let's go through a little hypothetical here. I'm at a coffee shop and I see 5 people ahead of me, okay? I kind of see how fast the line is moving, probably going to take about 5 minutes. Or I'm at the front of the line and the barista says, hey, we're really busy here. We'll be able to serve you in 5 minutes. So both scenarios are the same, but in the scenario where I'm in the front of the line versus behind 5 people, which would I be more willing to wait in?
So 5 people, 1 minute each, and 1 person, 5 minutes total?
No people just being told by the barista, it'll be 5 minutes. I'm in the front of the line.
So in this, I don't know that, I know that these are additive. So like in some sense, like you'll be adding the number of people that is ahead of you and how long the waits are. So I don't have the specific coefficients in my head, so I don't want to like add this incorrectly.
Just gut feel, like, will I respond to these 2 scenarios differently?
I think you would stay for the when the barista is like right there. But I mean, in this case, it's like you're right there. So
Yeah.
so there is, okay, so something that we fixed in the study is that you are always the last person in line, because there's that feeling as well. There's this like, if you're the last person in line, you behave differently than if you're not the last person in line. And then being like the almost there, like right in the front, like I think there's some like non-linearity over there.
Better example would be like I'm just like
The 10th
second to
in line or the 5th in line, and one line
Yeah.
is twice faster than the other one.
Yeah. In which case would I be more willing to bail or more easily paid off to exit the line?
I think you might be more willing to bail if the line is in the slow line, if the line was moving. You would be more willing to bail in the longer line.
Okay, well, there it is. Let's talk about this sunk cost thing. I said it earlier, like sunk cost fallacy. Walk me through a little bit what it means and what it means when it comes to waiting in lines.
So what it is you think about, hey, I've already been waiting, and the longer I wait, the more committed I get to finishing the line. Because the cost of waiting is like adding up in your head, is like, I need to get at least this much out of the wait. And so when we ask people how committed are you to finishing the line, like in the survey question, we found that we do see some movement there where like the longer they waited, they're like, I'm committed to finishing the line. But like what's really interesting was when we say, okay, like how much are you willing to accept to leave the line? We don't see this affecting them in a reliable way.
Did you factor in like your peers judging you? Like I feel like when I've been in a line for a long time and then I just kind of take a look around and leave, everyone in line kind of looks at me like, what an idiot. He bailed after wasting 10 minutes.
That is a good point. No, unfortunately, we do not have the social environment in the study. And the study was like pretty dry. We have
Yeah.
like fake, like, wares and a digital sort of setup. And so, yeah, you don't have people giving you the side eye.
That's whenever I leave a line, I'm always like, oh, they must think I'm an idiot. And I kind of am because I waited for so long and now I'm leaving. Last question. Does your research kind of explain why some lines feel fair and others make people angry and feel unfair? And if so, how is that explained?
Our research doesn't address that. There are other research that have looked at people switching lines, and they've also looked at like prioritization in lines, like emergency rooms, for example, where you might have seen people that are like waiting in a room, and like people are getting called ahead of you, or like you switch a line and then that line suddenly became slower.
Yeah.
But like our research doesn't actually look at that one specifically. Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I've enjoyed chatting with you about lines. I love that you do this research. I love that someone's researching about something that people wait in every single day. Thank you so much for being on the show.
No, thank you.
Sarah Lenardi is an associate professor at SPIA at the University of Pittsburgh.
Your day starts right here.
The number one place to be in the morning.
We've got the news you need.
Take that Team Canada approach.
The experts you trust.
More exclusives than anywhere else.
And your first stop for the biggest entertainment stories.
The Morning Show, weekdays on Global.